fonts are. So if you're working with multiple clients, then you will tend to build yourself your own little brand kit, add brand logos there, things that you want to come back to all the time, you will find there at any one time. I never use Teams. I don't create Teams at the moment. I am a little lazy. I should use folders more than I do, but you'll find that occasionally I use folders. If you want to be better than me, please do yourself a favor and then use folders. And very, very important for me are my uploads. That's where everything I've ever saved is kind of sitting there. And at the moment, you'll see there are just a million barcodes in there, QR codes, because I've been building something for companies. But that's where we are. So you arrive at Canva. I'm just going to go back to the home page. There we go. And we're going to start designing a few things. Now, where's Anya? Anya, what do you want to design today? Let's do something for someone. What should we design for you today?
Something for the Flight Training Academy, for the school.
For Flight Training Academy?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's say we're creating the Flight Training Academy. So the first thing we'd want for the Flight Training Academy is we'd actually want to have a logo. So we pop along to logo. Let's assume you don't have one. And there we go. The logo little box pops up. It's always 1500 by 1500. That's the standard size for flight logo training, or sorry, for any logo. And on the left-hand side are a whole lot of...
I can't find the retail bag code. It's not...
Hello? Okay. Lindsay was obviously on another call. So the very first thing I might want to do is I might want to see whether or not there's anything to do with flight by typing that into the search box at the top there. Sorry, we don't have anything for flight. I might look at training.
Aviation.
Okay, let's go to aviation. Let's do that. Okay, so we've done for aviation. So we're a little bit stuck. So we don't have anything in particular. The next thing I might want to do is I might want to go and have a look at different logos and think to myself, okay, I'm looking for something that I kind of like the look of. So there we are. I'm going to pick that one, for example. So at least it gives me a start point. I really don't like the black background. Off goes the black background. Now it's white. The problem is that everything else is, let's just delete the background altogether. The problem is if I don't have a background, I can't see anything at the moment. So we're just going to go back to the black. What you'll do is you'll find there's a whole lot of stuff here and it's been grouped together by the software. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup it. Top right-hand side, everything is now ungrouped. So now everything is, so what is the name of our flight school?
Central Flying Academy.
Sorry?
Central Flying Academy.
Central. So let's just put in the word central over there. Make the font a bit bigger. In fact, let's make the font a lot bigger.
We can abbreviate it. Charlie Foxtrot Alpha, CFA.
That's right. Let's look for something. Central Flying Academy. Okay, so we kind of got a feeling of what we want. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the use of fonts. Now, if you want to make a logo boring, then you just use the same font all the time. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to make these two fonts, because central is the word I want you to remember, I'm going to find a different font for Flying Academy. So I click on my fonts, and now I'm looking for a nice thin font. Something to maybe complement. Let's try Caviar Dreams. Make it a bit smaller. Sorry, that purple thing starting to annoy me. Let's go down to 72, no, a bit smaller, 64. Central Flying Academy. This thing here looks too nautical. I'll get rid of that one over there. And let's look for, I'll go to elements and I'll type in the word flight.
Oh, probably.
We're looking for something to Flying Academy. Central Flying Academy, it's black, change its color to white.
Mark,
Yeah.
Lindsay's asked, how can you animate or fly in words like you can on PowerPoint?
Okay, so Lindsay, if you look up here on the top right, there's a word that says animate up there. So if I click on animate, I can then set an animation to different things.
On a webinar.
It's not quite as intuitive as PowerPoint, where you can actually pick different animations and fly things in differently. It's a new thing that's just come out on Canva. So I actually tend not to use it, and especially I wouldn't use it in a logo. But I hope that helps you. At least you know where that is. So let's say we've decided, for argument's sake, this is our logo for our Flying Academy. We've decided that's what we want. Now, that's just black on white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this page. There's a second one underneath here. And now I'm actually going to change everything to white, sorry, to white on black. So I've got two versions of it. So I can look at both of them at any one time. I'm now going to change the background to white. And I can decide which of those logos I want to use at any particular time. Now, is everyone here who's using Canva, have you all got the paid version or the unpaid version? Just let me know. Anyone still using the unpaid?
Unpaid for now.
Okay, so I highly recommend that it's an investment really worth making for one particular reason. And that is when I click on the downloads and I download my PNG of this particular logo, I'm only going to download page 2. I can make the background transparent. And that is just, it's a massive plus. And I'll show you the use of that a bit later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this particular logo. I'm going to download it as a transparent PNG. And then I'm going to download it again as a non-transparent PNG. Okay, so while we're on, I'm going to teach you one more trick for all of you. Let's start another logo quickly. So I'm going to go back to logos. Okay, so one of the things I love doing with most of my work is I love putting a shadow behind it. It makes everything pop out a lot more. So now, if I were to take that logo we just made, which is the central PNG, I'm sure you can see it down at the bottom there. It'll be in my downloads. If I open show in folder, I'll have to drag it across for you because it's on a different screen. Downloads. There's our central flying view. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the logo I just built and I'm going to bring it, I'm going to drop it here. Anywhere I drop it here will automatically load to my uploads. If I click on it, there it is. So now it's an image. It's no longer the logo that I was using just now. And the difference with having it as an image now is I can take that whole image and for an example, I can put a slight blur on it, make it a little bit out of focus. I can bring down the resolution. And now when I add it back on, I'm able to create shadow block, and I'll show you how we're going to use that a bit later on. But I can't stress how important it is to be able to download things with a transparent background. Okay, so we have a logo. The next thing we want to do is we want to create a flyer for our flying school. So I'll go back to home. And this time I'll go to create a design, and I want to create a poster. We're creating a poster or a Facebook post.
Let's create poster.
Okay, we're creating a poster for the flying school.
Got a question.
Sure.
If I've got an existing logo that was designed by a designer that I have
Yes.
in a JPEG, can
Yes.
I use it and make amendments to it using this program?
Okay, so the problem with JPEGs is that the background and the foreground are fixed together. So you need something to remove the background. That's really what you want to do. Now, if you've got the paid version of, let me just show you quickly. I'm trying to find a photo for you quickly. Sorry, one of my own uploads. So let's find something that's got a background. Change the background of this. So as you can see, Suburban that's a JPEG as you have at the moment. If you have the paid version of Canva, you can click on it. You can go to effects and you can click on here something called background remover. It's only available in the paid one. And when I click on the background remover, it automatically removes the white for me from that logo. And now I have the logo with no background. I could, for example, put a picture in the background here.
So this would be the same as actually any picture that I would find on Google would probably have a background. So that's why you need to be able to remove the background with a paid version.
Yes, but some pictures you don't want to remove the background. So if you can imagine, just to give you an idea, to go back to my uploads, look how much better the logo looks with no background as it does as white. It looks like it's now almost part of the image. And that's why I think it's so important. But let's go back to our design and I'll go from there. So we're going to make ourselves a poster. And the first thing I'm going to have a look at just to see if there is anything. Let's say Academy. So I can have a look through what they're offering. I can say I like it, I don't like it. See anything that grabs my eye. Let's change Academy to training. A lot of cross training, CrossFit training, Trevor's birthday, workout sessions. Okay, for the purpose of this, I'm going to say, sorry.
School or education.
Okay, school, let's try school. Okay, nothing's really grabbing me. So we're going to start from scratch. We've decided we're going to start from scratch. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find myself a nice background. So I'll go to photos. I'll go to flight. Let's enter. It's an academy, so it's no use using a jumbo, a bird.
I needed an aircraft. There's aircraft.
You like that one?
That is good.
Mike,
Yeah.
in this case, though, wouldn't you then, if you can't find it on Canva, go and use one of the other programs that are free images?
You could, if you kept looking until you find exactly the image you want. There are a lot of them. I would try and avoid Google as much as possible. I don't like to use Google images for my backgrounds because those are images people are already using.
Mm.
So yes, certainly, let's just try flying as opposed to flight. You could
What are
pull your
some of the
image
other
from anywhere.
websites? What are some of the other websites with free images?
Free pics. In fact, if you just go into do any Google search, free image downloads, and the Pixabay is very popular. So let's go to Pixabay, go to flight. This is quite a nice one for an academy. Free download. I hope it's not going to make me sign up first. I'm hoping not. Oh dear. Join with Facebook. Sorry, I just want to quickly continue as Michael. Okay, it's starting to aggravate me, sorry. Obviously, I am a member already. I'm just going to cheat quickly. So I found the image that I want. I really don't want to go to the trouble of, I'm just going to copy the image. And then I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to drop the flight image in there.
And by doing that, it doesn't change the resolution of the picture, does it?
No, so I always use as high resolution picture as I possibly can find, and rather make it smaller than bigger, because I'm not exactly sure how much it's going to pixelate if I were to go to, for example, 100%. You can see there, it's not a great choice of picture because of the pixelation.
Okay.
But I'm going to use it for this particular example, just because we brought it in from somewhere else and it's a nice dark picture. So next I can go to my uploads and I'm going to look at the logo that I downloaded. The problem with my logo that it's black and it doesn't work all over the image. So really what I want to do is go back home. Where's our last all your designs? I'll go to my Flight Academy. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this as a white. So I'm going to go download. I only want page 1. I don't want to download all of it. I want it with a transparent PNG. Download. I can go back to our design that we're busy doing, if I can find it. Get rid of that logo. Now I'm going to drop in my white logo. Put it down there in the bottom corner. And there we go. So already it's a huge difference being able to not put a logo with a border on the background. Now, the big mistake that people make when they're creating posters and everything is they tend to put way too much information or try and get way too much information onto the same poster. So all I want to do is tell you flying lessons are available. So I can simply go to my text, hit one of my headline fonts and go flying lessons. I want to bring down the size a little bit. I want it in one line. Okay. So you'll notice that while I'm moving it around, these purple lines keep popping up. So for example, that's the most important of those the two most important lines. That's the center lines. So it's easy to center things and the eye looks at things better. And the other is this little purple box that keeps popping up around here, which gives you an idea of what works really well for prints and doesn't exceed the borders. So I do try and work within those lines at the moment. Black's a little bit dark for me at the moment, so let's try a flying lessons. Now, one of the things that you really might want to do is to bring out the word flying lessons, so it stands out just a little bit more. And there is no shadow button on Canva. It's one of the things. So what I tend to do is I click on it. I then top right-hand corner, I duplicate flying lessons. I go to position. I move it behind it. I now change its color to black. And then using my arrow keys, I can just move it around so that it appears as a small shadow. I can also drop the opacity or the transparency. And now all of a sudden I've got this looking like this. Now, the problem is if I want to, let's say I want to make flying lessons now bigger. If I click on it and I increase the size, it's not going to increase the size of the shadow behind there. So the first thing I want to tell you about is by going over both of them like that, you can see how they're highlighted. I can then now group them. I can turn them into one single. Now, wherever I move them, I'm moving both at the same time. So there we go, flying lessons. Tell me more about our flying lessons.
Sorry, we have Ebenezer, PPL.
Okay, so what we want to add now is some information about the flying school. So that makes people feel comfortable. So the first thing I might do is I might look through all this and say, is there anything here that works for me so that I don't have to retype it? So I'm looking for a kind of list. There's a menu list that might work. Bestsellers. Okay, let's put the bestsellers in there. I simply click on it. They pop up. I don't want it in black. We want everything to be in white. Not sure why my color white. In fact, what I'm first going to do, like I said to you earlier, is I'm actually going to go to all of that and I'm going to ungroup them so they're all separate because we don't need prices. I can take that out. Click there, change it to white. And instead of saying bestsellers, let's call this about Central Flying CFA, we called it now. About CFA, bring it in there. Group them again, pull it down here. So tell me some of the things about CFA. Registered. Credited. I spelled credited wrong. Credited.
Training school, affordable, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we'll even put a few more, blah, blah. Whatever information I want in there. So now I can decide where I want these. Let's put them down at the bottom here. Let's make this a bit smaller. Okay. So pretty much that would be, it's the start of our poster. We might want to put some more information in the middle here. And the way to do that is maybe to highlight it. So I'll go into my elements. I'll find myself a nice block.
In other words, the gray.
Sorry, I'm not if someone's. And let's next for something a little out of the ordinary. I like the color of that. Change it to white. Still not crazy about it. That box is too big. The outside box. Bring it in. Center everything. That gives you an idea of what you can build. Now you've built the poster and you decide the next thing is, I don't want to use it as a poster. I want to actually use it as a Facebook post. So a really nice thing that you've got on the paid version also is if you go to resize, I can now change it to a Facebook post. I click there and I always copy and resize. I always keep my original just in case I want to come back to it. Copy and resize. It now creates the same poster, but in Facebook sizes. But of course, quickly pop it up. And what this does is it allows you to have a lot of consistency in everything you do. Start flying today.
That's very clever.
Sorry.
That's very clever.
Yeah. So and I can change it in an Instagram post. So what you tend to do is you have consistency in everything that you do. So one of the best things you can do is you can create a kind of brand identity for yourself. So I would go, for example, I'd go to Facebook. Let's say most of the time you're posting on Facebook. And I would create something that I use all the time. In fact, let's go back to our last one. Sorry. Central. All your designs. Okay. I actually wanted the Facebook one that we made. I'll not save it. Sorry. I just want to resize this one again for you. Facebook post, copy and resize. So now what I can do is I'm just going to move that there. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to take out the center thing. Make this thing really to make some size. And what I can do now is I can save this as a template on its own. I can call this, I'll give it a name, Central Flying Academy template. I'll download that as a PNG, just a normal PNG.
Why do you download as a PNG as opposed to a JPEG?
They're a nicer file to work with. They're a better size and they've got a much clearer resolution if you need to blow them up. So JPEGs tend to pixelate the bigger you get them, whereas PNGs hold their resolution much better. So wherever possible, I download as a PNG. So now what I have got now is, let's go back to home. Okay, so now I want to create a design. I'm going to create a Facebook post. I'm going to drop that image that I just made, that PNG. I'm just going to drop it into my upload, so it's no longer a thing. I'm going to include that. Now what I've created is a background for every single one of my Facebook posts. Every one of them, I'm going to use this as the background. So let's say, for example, I want to post 3 pictures of my pilots who are coming up for training. I can pop along to elements. I can go find 3 picture frames. These are really handy to use. Click on 3 picture frames. Bring them down. A bit because we're not using all the things. Go to photos. Let's look for some pilots. There we go. Drop him in there. Drop him in there. Drop him in there. And I might title this one, for example, nice spelling mark. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create consistency in all the social media that I'm doing, so that every time somebody sees this background with flying lessons, they identify it with Central Flying Academy. And one of the reasons that people don't get, you find with your social media that doesn't work for you, is you're posting too many different things. One day it's a picture stolen from Google. The next day it's a cartoon. If you want to create consistency, the really nice thing about Canva is it allows you to create that consistency. You can create the kind of backgrounds you want so that you're posting the same stuff all the time. Let me see if I can find, I'm just going to go onto Facebook quickly. Got Facebook here. Facebook.com. Sun heat. Internet's a bit slow at the moment. Sorry, Ricky, I'll talk to you later. So what this particular guy does is he's created himself a frame. I'm going to find his images for you quickly. He's created himself this little frame. And all he does is, even if he finds pictures that he likes, he drops them onto his frame and rebrands them without taking away from what other people have done. And he uses that same across all his social media. So no matter where he's using it, you will find that people come to recognize what you do. So the really nice thing about Canva is it allows you to build this brand integrity and to create a design and save it for yourself. But now I want to teach you a couple of little funny tricks about Canva that you can use to make your pictures even better. One of my favorite, as I say, whenever I start, I always tend to start off in logo design. And I'm just going to show you how to make a little box stand out, how to make your stuff stand out better than anything else. I'm just going to go to Elements. And in Elements, I'm going to create this little box here, little square box. Using the corners. It's fine. I'm going to make it black. And I'm going to save this box as a PNG with a transparent background. Simple as that. Then I'm going to remove it. And I'm going to find us a nice element. Let's do a light bulb. You can find any image that you're working with. I'm going to take this one over here. No, I don't like that one. Oh. Light bulb. I'm going to make the entire light bulb black. Make the border white. Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, of course.
Thanks. Do you think clients will accept designs from Canva, or would they prefer from Photoshop or Illustrator?
Okay, if
It's
the
okay
design
to
is
charge people.
no, first of all, if the design is well built, there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't come from Canva. So when I posted yesterday on Facebook, I just want to quickly jump to my own elements. I deliberately made one of my elements, the one that I used on Canva is that one over there. And I can assure you that if I send to someone, if I send someone that and said it came from Photoshop, they wouldn't know the difference. There isn't a way for a client to know where you design. All the client really wants is good design. Same as the people who are viewing what they want is good design. Whether you make it in Canva or you make it in Photoshop. Obviously, Photoshop at about R1,000 a month to use the paid version has got some things in it that you can't do in Canva. But there's a lot you can do in Canva. Don't be shy. I mean, use Canva. If your clients are happy with your design, then it doesn't matter where it came from.
Okay.
So I wouldn't suddenly feel terrible about it. So I need to find my old design where I was. So I've taken
No, it's incredible. No, it's incredible. I'm just thinking maybe clients will think, they can just do it themselves if, it's done on Canva. Yeah.
Please understand, when your clients want something from you, I don't know how many designers are watching here as opposed to potential thing. You're actually not selling the product. You're selling your ability to make the product. So I'm just going to show you quickly how different. I'm quickly down this one. Download this one also.
So Mike, just on that, I'm a brand manager and I do a lot of designs for different retail brands.
Yes, Christy.
And even our internationals, I design all my product stands, all my shelf displays, everything on Canva, like absolutely everything on Canva. And no one can tell the difference. In fact, they think it's done in Photoshop. And
Okay,
then
so
also,
Kirsty, just watch me. See, I'm bowing to you. See, I love that. Well done. Because what you've done is you've reaffirmed what I said to Laurie, which is good design is going to be good design no matter where it comes from.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also if you're gonna, what I've found is if you're gonna design something for print and it needs to be like really big, like let's say it's a banner or something like that, what you can do is you can go, your pixels can be 5,000. If you make them 5,000 by 5,000 pixels, and then you download in high res as well, it really downloads it in a really good quality format that the printer can use. But generally, Canva does download in very good quality formats anyway.
Yeah, extremely good quality.
Right.
So what I'm going to show you quickly while we're on that subject is on the download button over here, you will see that there are a whole lot of options how you can download. And a lot of the time, when anything that I'm downloading that a client needs to use, I'm downloading in high quality print. And if I need to send it to a printer, I can simply click the crop marks. I can download it. And by the time it gets to the printer, I'm going to open this really quickly. It's in the quality he needs with the crop marks, everything there for him. Yeah, Canva it's just a remarkable tool. So did I download this one? I hope I did.
And it's so much fun as well. I could sit on it all day.
It's a lot of fun, and you can make things exciting. So now I've downloaded this light bulb. I've downloaded my block. I'm going to go and create a little poster for a course that I'm going to run. So I'll shoot along quickly to all your designs, create a Facebook post, and now what are we going to do? Where's the one that I just did? Okay, there's that one over there. Now I can download that. I can go and find that particular element that I used. There's the light bulb. I'm going to do the light bulb is make it the same as I made the other one. Overlay it on the one that I just did.
Mark, is there a paintbrush facility? You know,
No, there isn't. There are certainly some elements that are missing from Canva.
It's just, it looks like on the top right, next to the button that says position. What is that? Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That's a copy style. That's a copy style. I'll give you quickly a look at the copy style. Text. Mike said what? And I want it to be this particular red. Now I'll type in something else over here. World. Copy style. Go over to the other one, click it, it copies the style. Did you see that? So I'm not sure you asked me about the paintbrush.
Yeah, it was Martine, I saw, thank you.
But yeah, so it's a style copier, it's not a paintbrush like you might be used to. So now we've got Mark said what. Go look at some of those things I made. I made that little box for fun just now. The reason I like to have my boxes as transparent PNGs is that I can drop them in there. I can put another box over it. Let's make that one in the same red that I was using everything else. Make it a bit bigger. And I can go to that back box. I can go to adjust. I can blur it. I can drop the opacity. And I can fake a little shadow around what I did. Put my light bulb in there. On the middle. So my suggestion is that you really play with Canva. Download as much as you possibly can using the transparent PNG. It'll help you with everything you do. Learn to play with the shapes as much as possible. The grids are an incredible way also to do things. If you want to put together a little montage, no problem, pop it in there. I always like to use the borders. the really nice thing, go to my photos. What are we doing here? Restaurants. Closed. No, there's a protest this week for restaurants that are closed. Pop that in there.
Where? All over.
Yeah, tomorrow on they're gonna. It's called a million seats on the streets. They want to highlight the fact that restaurants are closed.
Maybe we'll start having more street food, like in Asian countries, where everything's like on the side of the road.
Or
They should try be in the events industry.
no, I feel for everyone at the moment. I promise you, I don't. It's not that I feel that they are more entitled or things are worse or better. I think everyone's under a lot of stress at the moment. But Canva is just like the most incredible tool. Play with it as much as you possibly can. Experiment. Another thing I really tend to do a lot of is duplicate. So if I kind of like what I see here, but I'm not sure if I like it entirely, instead of making changes to this one, I'll click on the copy page and make a second page. Then I can look at this one and I can say, all right, what if I change this color to a dark gray? What if I rather drop all the opacity down? It's not got a filter, I've got to adjust. Bring all the saturation down. Bring the saturation down there. I want this to look a little dark and foreboding. Go to my background. So just another thing that Canva does automatically, which is absolutely brilliant, is it chooses, you'll find your color palette over here. It actually picks colors out of the scheme that you're already using if you're using your color photograph, which also does make it.
It's the most awesome thing for brands, especially like when you don't have the color Pantone or whatever, you're using the exact same color.
Yeah.
And if you click that see all, it's all the colors that are in that whole image, and it really it works so well. So the paintbrush question, you could use an image of a color that you want, and then Canva will pick it up. I've found
fantastic, yeah. And just one more thing on the canvas, if you do have the exact color, when you click on the color over there, all you go to is to new color over there, and this is known as the hex code. If you have the hex code for that particular, like for example, let's say I didn't have it, but that's the hex color there. I'm just going to quickly take that hex color so I can use it as an example. I would copy and paste that from somewhere else. And I can go up here, go back to my red, go there, type in my hex code and match the color that you've got. But as Kirsty said, it's an amazing way to be able to pick a color out of it. So for example, if I need to use this red, I can use that red. If I want to use the blue that's sitting there inside the drawing over there, I go and find that blue that's sitting inside the drawing. And being able to match your colors with your pictures makes a massive difference to the final output of your image. Just want to change it to black. I'm going to look for a nice, some kind of depressing black and white background here. Restaurants. I want to highlight the fact that they're all closed.
Mike, can you also go through adding GIF, like making your things into GIFs, and adding animated aspects to your posts?
Sure. Let me just quickly finish. Okay, let me get off this one. Okay, so having fun, making posters, everything like that. One of the things that a lot of people are using it for at the moment are presentations. So you might want to build your entire PowerPoint presentation in Canva and then either export it as that or anything like that. So what you can do is you'll actually find some of the gifts. Sorry, some of the presentations already have animations in them. I was playing with one the other day. So let's see if I can find you one that's animated. Is that an animated one? No, sorry, just go back to, where's that little bugger that I found yesterday?
That's cool.
What's that?
That's cool.
Yeah, there are so many. I mean, there's so many.
It's-
So I personally, just by the way, I'm not a really big user of animations. To me, I know it sounds weird. I think they cheapen the design. Unless I'm really going to use them in TikTok or something like that, I tend to avoid them as much as possible. But you can animate anything once again. So for example, I'm going to animate just X squeeze me. So let me go back there, animate. I look for a pan. And now all of a sudden what I've got is an animation. So just as it comes on the screen, it does a slight animation for my presentation. Present. Present as view. Present. Got it. So as I say, I'm really not a very big user of animation. I think it, besides in a PowerPoint presentation, I try and avoid it like everything and anything in the world.
Mike, how would you add external music to one of your posts? You have obviously a list of music that you can add, but now you want to make something more current. How would you do that?
Okay, so it's very important if you're going to use music, you need to use royalty-free music.
Yeah.
That's like number one. If you're not going to use royalty-free music, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble with Facebook and with Google and with YouTube. So the first thing is, people always say, I want to bring in music that's current. Please make sure it's license free. So give me an example of something you want to add music to.
I always credit the artist in the post when I've done it on TikTok or something else, and they've never taken it down. But I find I don't know how to actually use, say, something very current, and then put it onto a GIF or even a PowerPoint, in Canva.
Okay, so just if I can just say, Lindsay, that really nice thing about TikTok is that everybody's copying music and everything's under about 30 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you tend to get away with it there. If you're going to post anything on YouTube, please be very, very careful on that respect.
Yeah. Like I say, if you credit the author and you actually normally you put the year, the author and everything like that, and they're normally quite good with that, as long as you put that into your actual post.
Yes, no, I know. My thoughts are rather go with anything but. Present. So, have you got the paid version or the unpaid version?
Paid version.
So you click on music there.
Yeah.
Find the one that you like.
The thing is that Canva offers you the options, but it really offers you.
I don't like.
Sorry about that. Hang on. Sorry, Canva offers you the option.
So Canva offers you the option, but let's say like I've got a recording that is paid for, that ticks all the boxes. How do I import music into Canva is basically what
okay, let me try for you, because I actually haven't brought my own music into Canva, but let me quickly go to where
That's
all my
what I
music
meant.
I just want to quickly go to where all my music is sitting, all my licensed music. Come. Here it comes. Music. I use something called Epidemic Sound for all my music. So let's just try drag and drop. Okay. That's interesting. I haven't actually imported music into Canva before. Did you ever do a search for it?
I tried to, and it said that it may be a feature in the new one, but not right now. But then I think it's a certain file type that maybe you have to import, or you just can't do it. But I did try and Google it as well.
Okay, I must say I haven't tried before. You've given me something to learn about. And if I find an answer, I promise you I'll post it to you.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, how to add music to I didn't even know, yeah, because I would expect you'd be able to drop it in there.
Yeah.
What are their files? I'm just going to try drop a WAV file there instead of a
Yeah, maybe it's that.
maybe it needs to be a WAV file.
I tried to upload the file, but it won't upload either.
Have you tried in Wave?
I'm going to try waveform now quickly. I'm going to find a waveform WAV file that was sent to me. Where's one of my recordings?
Because it doesn't make sense. I mean, you can customize absolutely everything in Canva, and then music, it just won't allow you to do it. But maybe you might.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't allow WAV files either.
Okay. Maybe it's like you say, to protect the art, that whole thing of plagiarizing and stuff. Maybe you just can't do it.
So then the trick would be to export this to PowerPoint, and from PowerPoint to add the music there, if you're using it as a presentation.
It's more Instagram posts and for stories and things like that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hunt it down for you. I'm gonna find out if you can.
Please.
Yeah, because that's the way the stories are going now. Everybody wants music, but they don't want the music which is on Canva.
Okay. All right, besides, okay, have you all played with the video feature?
Yes.
I was amazed at the quality. I was going to quickly change this to a video. Let me just go back to too much open at the same time. Go back to our flying school, go back to home. I did a challah bake the other day. I was MC at a challah bake. And I went onto my normal platform for finding video, and I couldn't find anything that showed challah bake. So I took a chance and I came along to Canva, and sure enough, I could bake a whole challah on Canva.
Wow.
I was amazed. I mean, I knew they had stuff on it. I just didn't think they. So what I could do is I could put the whole video together.
Mm-hmm.
In Canva, and then export it where I needed it. What music can we add to a challah bake? Jewish? No.
The music's very limited.
Yeah.
No, I can see that. Okay, so obviously this is confidential. If anyone needs music, just give me a shout. I have a license with Epidemic, and there's almost nothing you won't find here. So if you're ever looking for a piece of music, give me a shout. I'll download it for you quickly and send it to you.
Thanks.
You can go and search Epidemic Sound, and if you find the piece you're looking for, I can gladly do it for you. But
thank you so much.
And also those of you that don't have the paid version, if you happen to find an image that you really need, give me a shout before you buy it. I'll help you out there as well. Any other questions I can help with, any particular questions? I know we're a small group, which makes it much easier to talk and share.
Sorry, can I ask, and maybe you've covered this, maybe I missed it, but you know when you make a copy of a post?
Yes.
And then when you save it in all your designs, it saves the very first one. Is there a way that you can save both of them into your designs?
So I'm going to quickly open one for you and just,
Does that make sense?
so I have, like for example, if I've got two here, one's
Yes.
red and one's black.
Yes. Now you want to save them. So you download them as 1 and 2. But when you go into your folder, your designs, it will only show you maybe the black one. And you forget later on that you actually did the red one and you changed it. If
Okay,
you know
so
what
then,
I'm trying to.
yes, sure. So the workaround then is instead of making a copy here,
Right.
right? So I'll call this one light bulb. Bulb would be nice. Bulb black, right?
Yeah.
Now I go to file here and I rather create a copy here.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. So you go there, file, save, make a copy there. Okay. I
And
haven't
now
been
I'm going to
doing
call this one light bulb red. And make sure they're all being saved.
Yeah, I
Both of
think
them have
that's
been
what I
saved.
haven't been doing, you see.
Yes,
But
I'll
Mike,
save-
if you go into folders and then you go all your designs,
yes,
Yeah.
and then you click on a design that, let's say I've got this design that's 1 of 8 pages. If you click on that, it will show you all the pages and then you can just click on it.
yes, but I think Lindsay was forgetting that. That's why she's asking. So she
So
tends to go
when
in
I
and
was
only.
looking back for something, I was looking back and I knew I'd worked on it and obviously copied a template but completely changed it. But what it was showing you in my folders was just a top template.
Yes, and not the other ones. So the workaround is that you can cheat by just renaming them all the time and creating new designs.
And also, I think I wasn't saving them in folders, you see. I wasn't,
weren't
like you
moving stuff
showed
around.
it.
So one of the struggles that the things that I do by mistake very often. So for example, this is a series of 45 different posters, all slightly different.
Yes, that's what I'm doing, exactly that. And then
Yeah. So then, for example, I want to download page 15 and I go click download and I click download by mistake and I download all 45 of
all of
them
it. Yeah, I've done that.
instead of going in there, picking the exact page that I want.
Yeah. My thing was also remembering, which one I'd actually saved it under because there's so
Yeah.
many, and then I hadn't
But
saved it as an individual.
I think, Lindsay, you're facing the same kind of challenges that every designer does. We like client X final, client X final 01, client final X01B, client absolutely bloody final 17. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike, for your uploads, is there any way, so like I said, I work with probably about 30 different brands. And is there any way to put your uploads into different, so like, for example, one of my brands is Mark Anthony and the other one is Hask. To put the images, because I've got so many uploads, to put them into the specific folders in your actual uploads?
I don't think the, so I quickly want to shoot something in there. Central Png. So your uploads themselves don't have folders, but you yourself can simply go to your folder. So there's my Mark Anthony folder that I created.
Yeah.
And all his pictures are there.
Okay.
I mean, I know that one of my faults is that I don't use my folders often enough. And I should. I should use them much more than I do because it really helps arrange my stuff for me and work it out.
Is there any way to also, in terms of your uploading your own font? So I upload obviously a lot of font, and I'm guessing, is there a way to, I probably have to play around with the folders thing as well. I probably don't use it enough, but I'm guessing, can you keep everything? So your logo, your folder, your pictures, everything in that one folder? Or
Yeah,
do you think
you make a brand identity
a brand
for
identity folder? Okay.
Yes, you can have their like, for example, if I click on Rossa, where's my Rossa? I had built one for, I'm trying to think who I built it for. Well, I think in fact I deleted it. So under a brand that I'm using, for example, I can have their templates, I can have their fonts, I can have their color palette. You can have everything you want under that brand. So instead of all the time going back to my uploads, then I'm trying to go through them all till I can finally find the one for the grill house. I'm sure you're used to this kind of stuff also.
Touch missions. But okay, yeah, that makes sense. Create folders rather.
Yeah, so to create folders as much as possible.
You just drag and drop it into that folder.
It's a good question. Let's try that.
I was going to say, how do you get your, no.
Yes, you can. There we are.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. That's amazing. Okay,
So
I'm going to do
that. I just learned, so, and you can remove it from the folder without removing it from the trash.
Oh, without removing it from your uploads?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, good.
So,
So it sits in both places.
yeah, it sits in both, yes. And thank you for that, because obviously now I can even go to photos and I can say,
You can pull anything in there. That's awesome.
Yes.
go to food.
Yes. I take forever to try and find a logo that I loaded like months ago.
So it's a bit of work in the beginning too, but it's basically like your desktop where you create your folder.
Yes.
You pretty much pull everything from that one brand folder straight into here.
Yeah, start pulling it into, even in the beginning when I said that I know that I don't use folders enough. I'm lazy, and the funny thing is that my laziness then costs me hours later on.
Yes.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Because every day you're uploading more and more and the list just gets longer.
Yes. So I'm just going to go through this one more time for those that are not the designers. Most of the time, what you're going to be building, for example, is you want to build yourself a Facebook post. Go to create design. I'm going to teach you all one more trick. You all have Facebook. You all have Facebook pages.
Yes.
And one of the problems with Facebook pages is that banner up at the top is such a very unusual size, and it works completely differently on mobile to desktop. So very often what you have is you have something that works on your desktop doesn't work on your mobile. When you're building yourself your own Facebook banner, I'll give you the sizes so you can have them, those of you that want to do some designing.
So Mark, for a Facebook event, I often have to use a banner, otherwise it's cut off.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes, so they tend to get cut off. But let me see if I can find you a nice one that I've done before with all the cheats on it and everything.
And you're right, it looks very different on mobile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we are. Here's a. So when you're building a Facebook cover page, the actual size is 820 by 461. That's the perfect page size. But this area in gray is the only part that's kind of the safe zone. So if you build yourself a kind of template, 821 by 461 with the safe zone in the middle, you won't get that wrong. I might have a better one than that. I'm sure I've actually done the colors. I've done the exact sizes, so you can use them. Those of you that are going off to build your.
They were emailed to us in the very first Canva you wrote.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I sent you the.
It was a green. It was like a green block, wasn't it?
So, are there any web designers out there in the audience?
I know how to do it. I just don't do it as often as I would like to.
Okay, so the really nice thing, I'll teach you a quick little trick here. The really nice thing about Canva is that you can build the exact images that you need. So for example, I needed, let's go up here to something really big. I needed this picture for a new website that I built for my daughter. And if you look at the size, it's 1600 by 600 pixels. If I download that as a PNG, which I'm going to do for you right now.
Mike, just on that question, with the PNG, you know, it says 1 times and 2 times and 3 times.
Yes.
Is,
I keep mine set to 1 times.
What exactly though is that changing? Just the pixels, or is it changing? Like I often will get a thing from a brand and it's blurred a bit. And then is it possible to, like you would in Photoshop, sort of make it clearer using that function or not?
No. So for that, I use Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. I would use one of those two to remove the pixels. But I just want to show you the opposite. So if I look at this little design that I downloaded right now, I'll see it's 1545 kilobytes big. That's going to have a very slow upload speed on a website. So there's a free little site called Tiny PNG, which you might want to save, all you designers might want to save, where you can literally drag that design in there and it reduces the size without reducing the quality.
Oh, that's awesome.
So also if I need to send something to a client and it's over 2 megs big, you see it's actually it's dropped the size from 1.6 to 475 without losing any quality at all.
That's great, because we send those to retailers and they won't use WeTransfer anymore. So you have to send 1 image, 1 image, 1 image. So that's really awesome. Tiny PNG.
Tiny PNG. It's a great little resource. I mean, just before I close, I'll tell you some of the other resources that you might all want to try, and I tend to share them all the time. There's something called 123apps.com, which is also an incredible little site. If you need to combine a PDF, split a PDF, you can do it here. If you need to do voiceovers, if you need to cut your audio, join your video, convert audio from MP3 to WAV, it's a remarkable resource for designers. And it's just called 123apps.com. So somewhere between 123apps.com and Tiny PNG and QR Code Monkey. I'm sure you've got a list of free sites you all like using. Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of resources for people that want to do any kind of design. Okay, back to Canva.
Mike, sorry, Ansha said that her internet cut. So she said, really sorry. My mom, Ansha, she was the one with the CFA flying academy.
Yes, yeah, no problem.
They've been cut off at the flying school. So she messaged me to say, please can I apologize on her behalf?
No, thank you. And I'm sure I'll see you on Facebook later today anyway.
Yeah, she said, is there a link that you're going to be sending out for this one to the people who did watch it?
Yeah, is there a recording of this one?
Yes, there is. I have streamed it on YouTube and I can share it with you.
Brilliant.
I would love to carry on with this, but unfortunately we have a meeting. No, we actually have a meeting.
I know.
Like 10 minutes.
Okay,
so what I'm going to share quickly, just hold 1 second. Oh, no. It's the easiest way to share it. Create a design, Facebook post. Go to text.
Sorry, Mike, I wanted to ask you something. You know, when you share something directly to Facebook?
Yes.
And you want to type in, obviously, your comments, and you want to bold those comments. How do you do that?
Okay, so I think only groups allow you to bold comments. not pages, and not, it's one of these very, very weird things where sorry, that's not even my number, 081 397 I want to leave you my number, and I even typed the wrong one. 813982190. Facebook allows so little editing inside it that I kind of tend to ignore it. I don't even try and bold comments. I also don't publish, I never publish straight to from Canva. I'll always download and then reload myself, just as a...
Yeah, that's what I normally do, but I just thought there might be a way, you know,
yeah,
do it.
But I'm always available on WhatsApp. And as I say, let me just type this so that everybody understands how serious I am about this. Please read this. Please, no.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'll even make that, I'll make that red so everyone understands. But if you do get stuck with anything, I can help with anything, even if it's on outside of Canva. I'm always here, as Laurie knows, and she gives me a shout every now and again. Everyone, a round of applause for Laurie and Ort, who have improved their design tremendously.
Thank you.
By using Canva.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda.
I
Oh, I like that.
and thank you, Mark, for your willingness to just help and share your details with the world. It's just so appreciated.
Yeah. It's on outside of Canva. I'm always here, as Laurie knows.
Thank you.
It's recording, Laurie.
YouTube. Sorry, oh, it's now recording. Oh,
You're
dear.
recording, yeah.
I thought it was you for a moment.
Just
Thank
before
you
you go, I have a suggestion that what we should do maybe